السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي ولا رسول بعده سيدنا وحبيبنا وحبيب الله محمد ابن عبد الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. My respected brothers and sisters, may Allah's peace, His guidance, His mercy, His protection and His forgiveness be with you and with all your loved ones in this life and the next stage of life, the stage of qabr, the grave, and inshaAllah on day of judgment. Ameen, thumma ameen, ya Rabbal Alameen. Today inshallah we will start with an ayah from Surah Muhammad, 47th chapter, ayah number 24. This what explains what Quran says about, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about Quran in Quran. And then inshallah we will start the Tafsir after that. In that chapter, chapter Muhammad, ayah number 24, 47 chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim, bismillah ar-rahmanir rahim, says that أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا إلى آخر الآية صدق الله العظيم. The translation of this ayah is why they don't ponder, why they don't think deeply about the ayat of Quran. Have they placed locks on their own hearts? Means they have closed their hearts from this Quran. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. My respected brothers and sisters, you know as much as I do, the glorious Quran has 6 rights on us. When we talk about 6 rights, it means that we have 6 obligations, 6 duties towards Quran. And Allah will ask us about that. Number 1 is to get Quran, mean acquire Quran. Number 2 is to keep Quran. Number 3 is to read Quran. Number 4 is to understand Quran. And number 5 is to follow and implement the legislations, the ordinances, prohibitions of Quran on ourselves. And number 6 is to take Quran to others. So we need to understand that when we are talking about understanding and following Quran, then we are talking about that we personally would follow Quran, and we also implement Quran on ourselves. It's not only talk about it or hang Quran in your car or keep it in your office or in your house, but what you did a good deed, that you got Quran. Then you have kept Quran in your car, in your office, at your home, and then you read Quran. All these 3 things are good, very good things. But more important is to understand Quran. Then the next important thing is to apply Quran, implement Quran on our daily life. The one who is especially the head of the household. Then follow the legislation of Quran and then take it to somebody else. We stop at first 3. We take Quran, we keep Quran, and we hang Quran or decorate our houses with Quran and all religious books. We concentrate, unfortunately, our efforts towards display of outward piety. How do I look from outside? Have I changed my inside? Wallahu alam. So this is something. And then when we don't understand Quran and we don't implement Quran on ourselves, we start pointing finger at somebody else's fault. This is happening to me because of such and such reason. Because of Muslims and also because of non-Muslims. Well, you have the greatest guidance, greatest book in your home. If you understand it and if you implement it on yourself, you will benefit from it. It's just like having a driver license but never buying a car. Why did you even get a driver's license? I went for a driving test. After reading Quran, if we spent time to understand and apply Quran and its lessons on ourselves, we would have learned that Quran does not condone most of our behavior. Most of the things which we do, Quran says something otherwise of that. But we continue to do it. The first three things are good at, but they will neither help us in our grave nor on day of judgment, and until we do the next two of the beneficial act is to understand Quran and to follow Quran. Then the question arises that how can we take Quran? The number 6 is what? Take Quran to somebody else. So how do we take Quran to somebody else? It's not that it stands somewhere on the road and start distributing Quran to people. Distribution of Quran or taking Quran to others is explained by a hadith of Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he says, Islam is accepted deep in the heart. Means what? Means making commitment to Allah that I will not deliberately, knowingly violate your limits, Ya Allah. That is the meaning of the hadith. That Islam is accepted deep in the heart and uttered by tongue. When I speak, I should speak in the manners that Quran tells us. قُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Talk to people in a nicer manner. Then it is proven, our faith is proven in our dealings and in our actions. That how do we deal with people? That's where it should. It's not that I come to your home and I give you Quran and now you start thinking, oh mashallah, such a great Muslim brought me a book. Okay? But what I say to you in your presence and what I say to you behind your back when you are not there, that's what the behavior of Quran teaches us. May Allah the Almighty give us the wisdom to know the difference between the first three and the last three. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us understand that difference and follow it. Ameen thumma ameen. Today's ayat, inshallah, as we discussed the topic earlier, that it will be about the difference between zakah and sadaqah. What is zakah and what is sadaqah? And the rewards of zakah and sadaqah. So, for that we will refer to ayah number 263 of second chapter Al-Baqarah of Quran, 263 and 264, and I'll try to finish both, but I don't think we can do that. First the recitation, inshallah, then translation, and then tafsir of the ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى والله غني حليم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابها وابل فتركه صلدا لا يقدرون على شيء مما كسبوا والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. صدق الله العظيم. My respected brothers and sisters, inshallah, now the translation of the first ayah. Kind words and forgiving faults are better than an act of sadaqah, charity. Sadaqah means charity. Charity followed by hurting somebody's feeling. And Allah is rich and self-sufficient and free of all needs. And He is the most forbearing. The next ayah. O you have believed, do not invalidate your charities with reminders of injury, as the one who spends his wealth only to show off to people, and he actually does not believe in Allah and the last day. His example is like that of a large, smooth stone, a rock, upon which there is dust, and then comes upon it with heavy rain, which washes off the dirt from that stone. They won't be able to benefit from any good thing they did as zakah and sadaqah, and Allah does not guide the disbelieving people. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. First of all, we need to understand that if a person gives somebody sadaqah or zakah, and he reminds them and he waits for them to be thankful. You must be thankful because I did this to you, gave you the zakat money, charity money. So you must be thankful, you must be respecting me, you must be doing this and this to me. When I come into your room or office or your house, you should stand up because I was supporting you, I'm helping you. So those things are a sin. You can give as much sadaqah as you want, you can build as many schools you want, but if you put your name on that masjid which you built, or a school which you built, or a classroom you built, or a prayer room you built, or a water well you sank, okay, to help people, or you sow some trees, or you helped an orphanage and you put name on it, it's a sin in Islam. You don't do that. You don't tell people that I did this. There is a hadith, which is a hadith Qudsi, that on day of judgment, when the sun will be, and we discussed it last week, hadith as-sab'a, hadith of 7 kind of people, those who will be under the shade of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the day when there will be no shade other than the shade of Allah. And one kind of people who will be under the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the shade of Allah, in the mercy of Allah, will be the one, those who give from the right hand and their left hand doesn't know how much to give. We have people, those who built or give 20 Quran to the masjid and write on the first page, this Quran was donated for this purpose. You doing it for Allah, or you are doing it for the purpose for somebody to know that you did this, or you built this room, or you changed the air conditioner in the masjid, or you installed fans, or you built a room in a school. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't help people. So, first of all, now we are going back to the tafsir of ayah number 263, and the reason I said that we may not be able to finish both the ayat is that this is a very deep ayah. Look at the first ayah. قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَصَدَقَةٌ خَيْرٌ قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا أَذًى وَاللَّهُ غَنِيٌّ حَلِيمٌ. So we need to understand, first of all, that, my respected brothers and sisters, we must understand that whatever good we do, it does not help Allah. It helps us, or people like us, people whom we care about, people from our families, It is like sadaqah, my respected brothers and sisters, sadaqah is like making a deposit in your own account. It doesn't go to anybody else's account unless you meant it to go to somebody else's account. You can go and give sadaqah. Okay, if your father, is not living anymore, and your mother has expired, has gone, is deceased, you can help somebody and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, I am making this act, this good deed, accept it as a good deed, and whatever reward you want to give, please reward my mother, my deceased mother, or my father, or my brother, or my wife, or my husband, or children, whoever. You can do that. But that should be between you and Allah. You are not going to put a flag and put a plaque on it. I have been to masajid, wallahi ladeen, Each and every wall has a plate of somebody who donated this money to build that section of the masjid. You are such a great man, you did such a good deed. So many people walk by that and see your name over there, your reward is done, finished. There is nothing left for you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you put your name on it. That this, you go to Muslim countries and you will see there is a place where people can go and get water from. And there is a sign on that this water tank is donated from the nafaqa, from the money of so and so. It's haram in Islam. It's haram in Islam. You are doing it to show people. You are not riya and nas. Quran talks about it. Riya and nas. To show people that how good you are. You do it for Allah. You don't do it to show to people. If you're doing it to show people, you already got your reward. So don't expect any return from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that act. So when you make deposit, when you're giving money in charity, you're making a deposit in your account. It doesn't go to somebody else's account. When are you going to take that money out, that good deed out of your account? When you are buried and you are in your qabr. And qabr is closed on you and everybody you loved all your life and run after day and night to provide them has left you 6 feet in the ground. That was their love for you. Now you and Allah and your deeds. So that's when you draw from that account. That's when you draw from that account. That's when you draw from the day you come out of your grave and stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's when that account, that ATM works that day. Not for dunya. Your sadaqat, your zakat, your good deeds, your salah and all that, it only helps you, not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should be 1,000,000% sure that we understand that we are doing it for the sake of Allah, but for the sake of myself, in the name of Allah, and I only need reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I'm living, and then I will be buried, and then I will be taken out. Nothing else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my respected brothers and sisters, remind us in numerous ayat of Quran, many ayat of Quran, about the importance of charity. The charity is one of the khairat, zakat, sadaqat, they are all come under charity. But there are different definitions of what is sadaqah and what is zakat and what is khairat. So we will talk about it inshallah today. Charity is one of the, giving in cause of Allah is one of the fundamentals of Islam. And those who have money and have a status where they should be paying zakat, if they don't pay zakat, they don't believe in Allah, and they're just proving, that one action proves that he does not believe, he or she does not believe in Allah and does not believe on Day of Judgment. You don't know where the bank is. You don't know how to deposit the money in your account so you can withdraw when you are laying down alone in a dark grave. And everybody who loved you walked away because they have other appointments, They have to go to work. They have to go home, eat. They have to go to sleep. Enough that you were there in their life for 73 years or 37 years. And now you are gone and they want to go back to their life. But what you did in the name of Allah remains with you, my respected brothers and sisters. Not paying mandatory zakat is denying the fundamentals of Islam. Denying Islam. Since this life here, since this life about here, and most importantly, about hereafter. What is this life about? It's not an accident. Allah had a plan. Try to understand that plan before the day your grave is closed. Try to understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about it in many ayats. And I'll give you some references from there. And Islam encourages, even after paying zakat, zakat is a mandatory charity that you must pay if you have this much gold, if you have this much money, if you have these many houses, if you have this much income. Okay? So this much percentage of your income, your house, your belongings, your possessions must be given. What is that? We are so smart worrying about our retirement account. That is your retirement account. When you are giving zakat and sadaqat, We are worried about IRA account, Roth IRA, this and that. What would happen when I'm retired? Well, let's think about what would happen when I kick the bucket and I leave this world. What did I take with me? Nothing. If I gave zakat and told people how much I gave. If I gave sadaqat, what is sadaqah? Sadaqah, my respected brothers and sisters, it is charity which is not mandatory. Zakat, we will come down to it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the examples is in Surah Al-Baqarah. We studied that in ayah number 110, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. That establish prayer and give zakah, O people, and whatever good you send forth, you're sending it for yourself. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ. We look at our paycheck and say, oh, okay, this is Social Security deducted. This was for this was for that. Okay? And we living our life like, stupid goats which just follow another blind goat in front of him. This is not right. This is going to put people like me in a major, major, major trouble. As soon as the grave is closed, it will put people like me in a major trouble. So the next ayah, the next example of the ayah is again from Surah Al-Baqarah. This is the reason Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in one of the hadith has told us that do not turn your houses into cemeteries. Do not turn your houses into maqabir. Do not turn your houses into cemeteries. Recite Surah Baqarah in it. Even 5 ayat, 10 ayat a day. Nobody is asking you to stand and read all 286 ayat every night. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not put burden. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not put a burden more than your capacity to perform that deed. This is the mercy of Allah. He could have asked, stay in prayer for 1 hour. But He didn't. Recite Surah Baqarah. That's it. He didn't say, recite the whole thing or recite 2 ayats. He recite Surah Al-Baqarah in here. So in ayah number 254, which is the ayah before what? Before Ayat Al-Kursi. And it says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا give. It's an order. أنفق, because alif is used before nifaq. أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة والكافرون هم الظالمون. That, O people, O you have believed, give in cause of Allah from whatever He has given you. Nobody, show me a person who was born with a bank, with a bank account from his mother's womb. They all came naked. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives people to test them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes people from people to test them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests those who have, even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in one of the hadith has said, your smile for another person is a sadaqah. And the best of the sadaqah is transferring the knowledge. You know something, tell somebody. Good thing. It is a sadaqah. It will be standing next to you in grave. Our families, our children, our brothers and sisters and wives and husbands are sitting watching soccer, football, basketball, this game, that game, this movie, Turkish drama, Pakistani, Indian movie. Some series is coming on CBC, NBC, ABC, CNN. We're watching that. We're not transferring knowledge. And all those people we are watching, they're taking money to make a monkey out of you, making a fool out of you. Learn before your eyes are closed. And learn, there is nothing better to learn than Quran, so it can guide you to the right path. Go work, be a scientist, be a doctor, be an engineer. Nobody is asking you to be a muazzin and imam. Nobody. excel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even challenges us, go. Ya mashar al-jinni wal-insi in istata'atum an tanfudhu min aqtar as-samawati wal-ardi fanfudhu la tanfudhuna illa bis-sultan. Go out, into different planets, and go and see and use power to go out, power of knowledge. Go out in the other worlds, go see what's happening. Earn and learn. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah says, "O you have believed, spend whatever we have provided you before a day comes upon you in which there is no exchange, there is no friendship, and there is no shafa'ah." If the ummah thinks that on day of judgment, Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be making shafa'ah for the one who never paid zakah, we're living in a fool's paradise. Wake up. Wake up. He would never do that. That no intercession would work for you, and the disbeliever are the wrongdoers. Scholars, my respected brothers and sisters, are mercy of Allah after the Paygambars, after the prophets and messengers are gone. Scholars are the mercy. They are like a star, they guide you. They guide you even in the dark. And the scholar says this about this ayah, وَالْكَافِرُونَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ, that and the deniers, the disbeliever are the one who transgress the limits of Allah. So a scholar said, Allah is so merciful that He says, وَالْكَافِرُونَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. If He would have said, وَالظَّالِمُونَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ, we would all go to hell. That everybody who transgresses or breaks Allah's limit are the deniers of Allah. If He would have said that, because we all make mistakes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very patient. He waits, He is very forbearing. He does not punish people immediately. He gives people time to repent. So there is no hujjah on day of judgment. Then nobody can argue with Allah, you didn't give me time. You didn't give me time, so I can repent. No, He gives you time. So you can repent and come back and reconnect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is merciful. He is not happy to throw people in hell. He's waiting for us to reach back to Him so He can forgive us. That's the mercy of Allah. In Surah Al-Muzammil, which is 73rd Surah, ayah number 20. In ayah number 20. It says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وَاقْرِضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ هُوَ خَيْرًا وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. That and establish prayer and give zakat and loan Allah a good loan. What is a good loan? A good loan is the loan which is guaranteed to be returned. A good loan is a loan which is guaranteed that you will get a return. And who is the better, وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا, that whose words are more trustworthy than the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم, He said, وَأَقْرِضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. Every good deed which you are doing, you are giving a loan to Allah which He is going to return to you. He is going to return to you. So it says that loan to Allah, a good loan, and whatever good you do, and you send forth, you sent it forward for yourself, not for Allah. Not for Allah. That loan does not help Allah. That deed does not help Allah. Your namaz, your salah, your zakat, hajj, sadaqat, khairat, every good deed which you do, it only helps you and people around you like us. It is better and a greater reward. It is a better and a greater reward, and seek forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the oft forgiving and most merciful. There is nobody more merciful, astaghfirullah billah, than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. He is the most merciful. Bow down to Him, ask Him to forgive, ask Him to repent, and see how He turns your, this runaway engine around and puts you back on the track that takes you back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In previous ayat, we learned that the good loan, we talked about it. It must be clear in our mind. There are two things which must be very clear in our mind. Allah does not need anybody's charity. When He said that I gave it in cause of Allah, I did it for Allah. He, astaghfirullah, na'udhu billah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ghaniyun hamid. Allah did not help Allah. It helped people like you, people like me, people like us, those who are on this planet. Or it just cause it helped there. It didn't help Allah. It didn't help Allah. So, He is generous. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is generous. And He likes generous people. And He does not like stingy and narrow-minded people. People, those who don't spend, are stingy people. You know, if somebody doesn't have, well, cannot you smile at your brother, at your wife, at your sister, at your husband? Cannot you smile only? Just a smile? Yes. So that smile is also sadaqah. He's the most generous, He's most clement, He's most forbearing and forgiving. Allah would not pardon, Allah would not forgive those givers who remind people that you took money from me, so you owe me respect. The one who does that, after giving in cause of Allah, and sadaqat, khairat, or zakat, and if he says that, his deeds are done, gone. He has no reward for any zakat, no reward for any khairat. We do something for somebody, just leave it between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And do not remind that person. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, on the day of resurrection, Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah will neither speak nor even look at people, those who were reminding their charity they gave to somebody. We make the room in masjid, we put a plaque. This room, this library, this classroom, this hospital is donated by so and so. By so and so. It's against Islamic. And the fundamental teaching of Islam tells you what you do is going to help you. So don't remind a third person. You're not doing it for them. What is the difference between zakah and sadaqah? We need to understand these differences, my respected brothers and sisters. Arabic word zakah means grow something. It means growth. It is a blessing and purification. To purify something would be called zakki. Zakki. La tuzakku anfusakum. Do not show people that you have such a great heart. That you have such a clean heart. So zakah means also to purify something. The word sadaqah comes from 3 Arabic letters. Sa, the, and qa. Sadaqah, which means sincerity and truth. Sincerity and truth. Voluntary giving is sadaqah, and mandatory, compulsory giving is zakah. Zakah, you don't pay, because here I have noticed, and I'm surprised, that you go to Eid prayer and everybody will say, put your zakat money in that box. And I said, okay, what about the box, other sadaqat and things like that? Put it in one box. You can't do that. Those kind of people do not qualify to lead prayers of Muslims. Zakah, according to Quran, in Ayat of Surah Tawbah, zakah has only fixed time when you will pay the zakah. And it could be different. When there is one lunar year, one complete lunar year for a house or for an account or for the money or for the gold which you have in your hand and your wife has it, or silver or diamond and this and that, any valuable. Once you finish 12 lunar months, Islamic calendar, Hijrah calendar, or lunar month, they are same. When you reach 12 lunar month, at that time you would pay zakah. When you reach 12 lunar month, not before that. If you do before that, that will be counted as sadaqah, not as zakah. You still owe the zakah. But you can pay before that, but it makes no sense. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Nishara, when it comes that it should finish, one lunar year, it turns. So that is the difference between zakah and sadaqah. Zakah has a term and sadaqah does not have a term. You paid in the morning, you can go back and pay $2 to somebody else as a sadaqah, same day. 2 hours later. 2 hours later you can pay that. So voluntary giving is and in cause of Allah is sign of purity of faith. Purity of faith, and it is sign of sincerity towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you have paid zakah, but here is a person who pays a lot of money in sadaqah to show off, but he never pays zakah. Well, that sadaqah is not accepted. If he is supposed to pay zakah and he did not pay zakah and just paid sadaqah and say it's not necessary. No, you have to count how much you owe, more or less than your sadaqah, and then you pay that amount. After that, as you wish, if you don't pay sadaqah, is not a sin. It is, take the example of salat, of your prayers, that if a person just keep praying nafil but never pray farz. Did he pray? No, he didn't pray. So a person who keep giving sadaqah and khairat and never pays zakat, he never made any good deed. His sadaqah is not accepted, his khairat is not accepted if he has not paid zakat. Islamic jurisprudence, my respected brothers and sisters, define zakat as a part of worship. Zakah is part of worship of Allah. Why? Because there it says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Sadaqat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say that. It's one of the 5 things. What is the first one? Is have faith that there is no deity worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. That's number 1 of our faith. Number 2 is salah. Number 3 is zakah and siyam and hajj. Okay? You may not pay zakah if you don't have enough to pay zakah. There is a percentage you have to pay, or the weight you have to pay, or the amount of earning you have. But you cannot say, my iman is 10%, or I will pay only 95% of prayer, and whatever is left, I don't have to pay it. No, these 2 things you have no exception. You don't go for hajj if you can't afford it. Or you have a daughter who is of marriage age and you haven't married her yet. There is no hajj for you on that. If whatever you are saving is saving to marry that daughter decently, with a good person, so you don't pay zakah on that money. You are not going for hajj. But if you have money that you can marry your daughter and you can also go for hajj, go for hajj. Then it becomes work for you. If you have money to pay zakah, certain percentage, certain amount of money, certain number of properties, certain income coming from somewhere, certain amount of gold, weight of gold, not amount, weight of gold, weight of silver, weight of valuable, then you are paying zakat on that. If you don't have it, there is no zakat on you. But that you can do in faith, to have iman on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you can do that about prayers. That is must. That is must. There is no exception. Sadaqah means worshipping of Allah, but the basic concept of zakat and sadaqah, even for salah, the basic concept is that your means of earnings have to be halal. It's not a person is, running some bad thing, or running a casino and then he has, in the same casino, he has a room where he goes and prays. You think Allah is going to pray for accept his prayers? No. No, he's not. If you involved in selling liquor, somehow, okay, there is your salah is not accepted, your zakah is not accepted, your nothing is accepted. And your means of earning have to be clean. Then you pay zakah. Then you do sadaqah. Otherwise, you just giving money for in the air. Sadaqah means worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by voluntarily, with the goodness of your heart, voluntarily. Yes, I have paid zakat. Now I have money left. I want to help that older man or woman or a poor person or closer relative of my family, I want to give them $5 a week, $10 a week, whatever you decide. Give it with closed fist, closed hand. Don't let anybody, not even your left hand know what your right hand give. Who does not want to be? Who wouldn't want to be standing in the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Yawm al-Qiyamah? Who would not want it? That's the greatest achievement. That you will be one of those who would be under the shade of Arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep that in mind. The other differences between zakat and sadaqat need to be understood. Zakah is obligatory on specific things, such as saved money, which has completed 12 lunar months on it, gold which you have for 12 lunar months, silver, crops, you are a farmer, you have crops, on that, fruits, merchandise, livestock, or whatever. You have an means of earning wherever the money is coming from, and 12 lunar months are completed, you are obligated to pay zakat on it. Sadaqah is not obligatory. Sadaqah is voluntary. It's upon the person to whatever she or he can give from the goodness of her heart and deposit in Allah's account, so it will be returned to you in your qabr. It will be returned to you on Day of Judgment. That is sadaqah. Zakat is mandatory. You must pay. That is the minimum. Whatever more than minimum you pay, that will be taken into account as sadaqah. Okay? There is no concept of zakah or sadaqah or money or possession earned through illegal, unlawful, and prohibited means. Somebody is selling drugs or liquor and go pay zakat. The guy is an idiot. He's not a Muslim. There is no ajr for those kind of things. Zakah is to be paid after 1 full year. Okay, sadaqah is not subject to time limit. Like in zakat, it must be 12 lunar month. Sadaqah can be paid anytime, 10 times a day, or now. If you don't have anything left, then your wife has need, your children have need, you have your bills to pay. When you are spending money on your wife and spending money on your children, you are giving in cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, realizing your responsibility that Allah gave me this woman, this lady in my life, or this husband of mine, or my children, and I'm fulfilling those responsibilities. It all counts as sadaqah in cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has ordained that zakah should be given on certain type of things, and it is not permissible that zakah money to be used for anything else. There is an ayah in Quran, Surah Tawbah, 9th chapter, ayah number 60. Ayah number 60, 9th chapter. إِنَّ بَعْدَهُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينَ وَالْآمِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا وَالْمُعَلَّفَةِ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَفِي الرِّقَابِ وَالْغَارِمِينَ وَفِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ فريضة فرض, mandatory, compulsory, فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم. Says zakah is expenditures are only on the poor. You build a masjid from zakah, you're committing a sin. You're committing a sin. And we're doing it. And some scholar turned around and gave a fatwa. It's okay in America to use zakat money. Who told you to build such a huge masjid? Then now you have to cross Allah's limit to build that masjid. Is that a good deed to do? Absolutely not. You need to see a psychiatrist. It's a psychological problem. It's an understanding problem. Zakah expenditures are only for the poor and the needy and those who are employed to collect the zakah. Like government have a department, suppose, where they are collecting. Zakat money can be used to pay for their expenses. وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا, ayah number 60, Surah At-Tawbah, 9th chapter of Quran. And it says, those whose hearts are inclined towards Islam, those who are not against against Islam, are Muslim, they are not enemy to Islam, you can give some of the zakat to them. if their hearts are inclined. But if they say, you live wherever you like to live, I don't care what you are, or you or your religion, you can't spend on that. But a person who want to come closer to you, want to see, it gives you an opportunity to invite that person towards your faith. Zakah can be spent on that. وَالْمُعَلَّفَةِ قُلُوبُهُمْ. That's what it means. And for freeing captives, and for those who are in debt, and for those, and for the cause of Allah, and for the stranded traveler. It is an obligation ordained, means ordered by Allah, and Allah is all-knowing and all-wise. My respected brothers and sisters, I go to prisons. There are so many people in prisons. So many people in prison. Those who are in prisons because they owed somebody some money and they cannot pay it, so they were incarcerated. For years, now they have wives and children, Muslims, non-Muslims. Their wife and children, and the bread earner is gone. And the ummah is sitting there building masajid. Just think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask, what are you, where were you when this man was locked up? And his children and his wife and all that. But they were rolling on the streets like pebbles. Just because he cannot pay the loan. And you building masjid. Build masajid, but who told you? Who told you? Go to Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about it. أجعلتم إمارة المسجد الحرام أجعلتم سقاية الحاج والإمارة المسجد الحرام كمن آمن بالله واليوم الآخر. That you think that making this haram in Mecca and helping and taking care of the Hajj and building huge masajid and building huge minarets and things like that, is that equal to somebody who from his heart believes in Allah and practices Islam? No, it's not. No, it's not. We are collecting something in the name of zakah, and we are intermingling Allah knows, maybe there are some those who don't do it, but they are intermingling funds according to Quran and according to American law, the Western law, because Muslim countries have no law. We are goats. If better than goats, we are sheep, we are cows and buffaloes. But we are still animals, majority of us. We don't understand. We use Quran to hang in our office, in our car, in our shops. Alhamdulillah, we are Muslims. That's where it ends. That's where our faith ends for us. We are collecting zakat and we are intermingling funds to build masajid. In the same community, there are poor students. There are widows. There are orphans. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. You have orphans, you have divorced women, you have inmates in the prisons because of the debt. They cannot make the bail. They don't have money to bail themselves out. And the families, and you have homeless. Go to Garden Highway and see how many older men and women. They are homeless there. And the families they left behind. And as long as we have a large masjid, and somebody could say, oh mashallah, he is president of such and such masjid, that's it, we got our Jannah. We got our Jannah. He is imam of such and such masjid, that minara is of green color or brown color or white color, and you can see it from 2 miles. Is that the criteria Allah established? And is that the reason Allah sent Quran? Or Allah sent Quran that if you can give your halal earned money to help another person, mandatory for you to give this much percentage. If you have in your heart love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and love of these people, go out and give sadaqah also. Go out and give khairat also. As long as we built a huge, large masjid, mashallah, and call it Islamic center. Islamic center. Allahu Akbar. I was with some people, I'm just going off the topic. I was with some people and I asked a question. I said, there is an ayah in Quran, okay? And it says, مَثَلُهُ كَمَثَلِ صَفْوَانٍ عَلَيْهِ تُرَابٌ فَأَصَابَهَا وَابِلٌ فَتَرَكَهُ صَلْدًا. I said, brother, you are an Arab, can you tell me the meaning of this ayah? He never heard what is Safwan. He leads prayers, he's an imam. He never heard Safwan, he's an Arab, imam. He does not know the meaning of Wabil, he does not know meaning of Salda. Wabil is heavy rain, Safwan is a shiny stone, Salda is just a stone. That would be the next ayah, we'll talk about it next week, where the heavy rain washes out the dirt from top of the stone. That's what it means. We don't know Quranic Arabic. Arabs don't know Quranic Arabic. Forget about the others. Because as long we are hanging it on our walls, we are Muslims. You can see one Quran, a small one, something happens, somebody got, somebody's always getting sick, get fever, or always have some kind of medical problem. Give them a ta'weez. Give them something to hang from their neck. And that's where our belief starts and ends. We build these places and its facilities, and we can show off and boast that how great Muslims we are. Really? Is that what Quran is telling us? No. Quran is telling us to use zakat. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ. تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ. When you go, it's not that I pay zakat and Brother Salim goes there and Allah rewards him. No, it's my account. He will be rewarded. He will be rewarded if he would help me find out those who are deserving, and so I can give him my zakat. Yes, you will be rewarded for that. Before saying Jews and Christians are our enemies, we must reflect and look at all of our political leadership and majority, huge majority of so-called religious leadership. We should look at that. We are without understanding Quran, instead of followers, we have become enemies of Islam. There are no greater enemies of Islam. Let's not talk about it. Sadaqah. It hurts, wallahi, it hurts my heart whenever I think about this. Sadaqah may also be given to those who are mentioned in this ayah. In ayah of chapter 9 chapters, Surah Tawbah, ayah number 60. And in other ayat of zakat and sadaqah. Whoever dies and owes zakat, suppose we have not paid zakat for 2 years, and I die today. The heirs, those who are I left behind people, it is their responsibility to pay my zakah and pay my loan first before burying. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked away from janazah, asked them that was he in debt? He was told, Ya Rasulullah, he was in debt. He owed people money. He said, before you go pay his debt. Go pay his debt. We take that, mashallah, and we are so happy with it. Because it helps us buy a bigger house. As for sadaqah, my respected brothers and sisters, zakah, if somebody has never paid sadaqah, his heirs, his family, and if he dies, his family doesn't have to pay sadaqah on his account, on his behalf. Zakah he hasn't paid, from whatever he left, zakah have to be paid from it. It needs to be calculated. It is faridatan min Allah. Farida means fard. It is an obligation to Allah. It should be paid. It is against Islam to hoard money, to keep money, keep collecting it, and possessions, and not paying zakat on it. It's haram. You can't. 12 months is over, you must pay it. But that money should have been earned from rightful means. I can't have a casino and pay zakat. Because in same surah, Surah Tawbah, there are so many chapters in Quran, my respected brothers and sisters, those who are very important for us to understand, to change our life. To change our life. We must understand those surahs. One of them is Surah Tawbah. Surah Tawbah, must understand. Surah Nahl, Surah Al-Baqarah. These are the surah. What we do? Somebody is sick, call a mullah, give him $75 to read Quran. Or Surah Yasin, $5. Give him some samosas and chai. That's it. And he'll take it. It's a profession. In chapter Tawbah, ayah number 34 and 35, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We have about 6-7 minutes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنُزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَبَشِّرْهُمْ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ يوم يحمى عليها في نار جهنم وتقوى بها جباههم وجنوبهم وظهورهم هذا ما كنزتم لأنفسكم فذوقوا ما كنتم تكنزون فذوقوا ما كنتم تكنزون. And those who hoard gold and silver and do not spend it in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give them, Allah is making fun of those people, that how stupid they are. Says, give them a good news. Give them a good news of a very, very painful punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَبَشِّرْهُمْ bushra, means a good news. Give them the good news that they will be punished. Go collect. The day when their gold and silver and all the valuables they kept and collected and did not pay zakat on it will be heated in hellfire. Will be heated in hellfire. And their forehead and their shoulders and their backs will be stamped. Their backs will be stamped with it. And they will be told, this is what you collected for yourself. Now taste it, how good it was for you. This is what you collected for yourself. You see, we compete. Not only women, men and women both. Ras and hikmah mukhafat Allah. The best of the wisdom is a person fears that I should not do anything which invites the punishment of Allah. That is the best wisdom. To the best of our capability. People like me commit sins every second of our life. We need to be very careful. We need to not stop giving the zakat and sadaqat and salah and siyam and hajj and iman. We should have that. Wallahi ladhim, I was leading Taraweeh at one masjid one time. This ayah came and I cried. And when the salah finished, 2 women approached me and they took out from their ear and from their neck and gave it to me. I said, find somebody. I don't want to take it. Find somebody in your own family who is deserving for your zakah or your sadaqah and your khairat. Give it to them, not to me. Don't show, don't tell anybody. You want to give it for the cause of Allah. And ask Allah to help you when you are alone in your grave and when you are alone standing. The day when pregnant women will drop their load and run to Maidan Hashr. Ask for that day. They were crying, both of them, after this ayah. And Sahih Muslim narrated from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from Sayyidina Abu Huraira radiyallahu anhu, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, those who do not pay zakat, their possession will be converted, will be changed into metal plates, because it does not melt so quick, it turns red. So it says that their possessions will be converted into metal plates, and it will be heated in the hellfire, and their sides and their foreheads will be branded until Allah passes judgment between His slaves. On the day, the length of the day would be 50,000 years one day, which we count. 50,000 is not a short day. There is start and finish. And people may be thinking, day of judgment means it started at 7 o'clock and ended at Maghrib time. No, brother, it's 50,000 years. Your la yuzul qadama, Bani Adam, that your feet will not move from its place until the judgment is done. You would not move. It was not up to you to go sit down under a tree. No trees. There will be only shade of the arsh of Allah. So do something when we have something. No matter how little we have. If it says, وَلَوْ بِشَقَّةِ قَمَرٍ, even if you have as much as a split of a date, use whatever you want to eat and give a portion of one date to somebody in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will accept it as a sadaqah in your cause. My respected brothers and sisters, zakah, sadaqah, and all good deeds only benefit us. It shows us that those who do not pay their dues to the destitute, to the needy, to the orphans, to the widows, and to the homeless, those people, no matter how much you pay, how much they prayed, how many hajj they did, how many times they fasted, even if they fasted the whole, every nafil fast and every fard fast, okay, but they did not give zakat and sadaqat, and did not help the poor, did not help the homeless, did not help the orphans and widows and old people, those who don't have capacity to earn, okay, those people would not be forgiven on day of Allah, on day of judgment by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will end inshallah in about 2 minutes if you allow me. It is not permissible to give zakah to your mother or your father or your wife or to your underage children or your grandchildren, because they are your responsibility. You can't use zakah on it. But whatever you are spending, Allah would reward you as sadaqah. Reward of sadaqah. You can't give zakah. They are your responsibility. But if a woman is rich, wife is rich, and husband is poor, she can give zakah to her husband, because he's not her responsibility. And he's unable, if he's a couch potato, doesn't work, doesn't do anything, then don't give her. Otherwise, every man will marry a woman who is rich, so he can get zakah and he doesn't have to work anymore. It is not permissible to give zakah to somebody who is strong and able to earn. There is no zakah for him. Abu Dawud al-Nasai, Imam Ahmad narrated from Ubaydullah ibn Adi, the brother of Abu Jahl, was a Sahabi. The brother of Abu Jahl. Said that two men came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on Hajjatul Wida while Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was distributing zakat. And they asked for some zakat. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam looked at them from top to bottom and he says, you are not eligible for zakat. Because they were healthy, they could have done something, they could have worked on something, He said that I will give you some for today, but those who are strong and able to earn their own living, they have no share in zakat. The government is authorized. If people don't pay zakat, we are so afraid of IRS that if I don't file my return, they will take my car, they will take my house. What about Allah? Take it and you don't pay zakat. Just keep worrying about IRS and you will go to Jannah, because we think that whoever says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah will go to Jannah. That's not true. That's not true. Then if whoever says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah pays zakat, does hajj, he fasts. Otherwise his kalima is also not not true. Saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah is your signature on the contract. Now read the contract. Contract tells you that after you say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, you will not miss prayer. You will not, if you have money, you will not miss zakat. You will not miss hajj if you are able to perform hajj. You will not miss siyam. These are the conditions of the contract. You will help the poor, the homeless, the downtrodden, destitute. You will pay to the orphans and to women, those who have lost their husbands, the widows. It is not permissible to give zakat money to people of other faith, but you can give after you have paid zakat. After you have paid zakat, you can give your sadaqah money. Your sadaqah you can give to people of other faith. In chapter Al-Insan, chapter 76, ayah number 8, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they give food. They give food in spite of their love for it to the needy and to the orphan and to the captives. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. So many people are in prisons for Allah. We collecting for masjid. Nobody is paying the debt for the prisoners so they can come out of the prison, so they can earn for the families they left behind. So many. I can tell you, by name I can tell you how many people are in the prison just because they owed money. They couldn't, so the court sent them to prison. And Muslims. And here is the Muslim sitting there, collecting zakah, sadaqah, this, that, all in one box and building a masjid from it. A man who earns from the rightful means and spend on his family is accounted for him as making sadaqah in cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you bought something for your wife, your husband, your children, your daughter, your son, and you gave it to them with a smile, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it as a sadaqah in his cause, and you will be rewarded in qabr. You will be rewarded in qabr. Inshallah, we'll end by this hadith. Sahih al-Bukhari narrated from Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anh that the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, every good deed is a charity. Every good deed is a sadaqah. Huh? And one of the best sadaqah is transferring the knowledge. Giving, teaching something which people can benefit from it. It's one of the best sadaqah. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, sincere charity. Your charity closes 70 gates, 70 doors of evil on you. 70 doors. Some harm may be coming to you from 70 different sides. Your charity will stop and close those doors. Inshallah, we will pick it up next week. Today, we did not even started the tafsir of that ayah, the short ayah number 263, which says the beginning of the ayah. I'm forgetting what the ayah was, and it says the ayah was قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا أَذَى وَاللَّهُ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. We did not even start tafsir. We need to understand what sadaqah is, what zakat is, who you are supposed to give the money. Don't waste your money, my respected brothers and sisters. Your zakat, you can't give sadaqah if you have not paid zakat. Pay your zakat first. I can help people, those who don't know how to calculate how much zakat. Okay? But the fundamental, everybody you know for yourself, I know for myself, that it has to complete 12 lunar month. 12 lunar month, 12 months complete of Islamic calendar. Then zakah, wajib, you must pay zakah on it. So we can talk about this. Inshallah, أقول قولي هذا واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Inshallah, we will make dua. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب الحشر وقنا عذاب جهنم وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك إيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا ورزقا واسعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وحلالا طيبا وتوبة نصوحا وتوبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت والمغفرة عند الحساب والفوز بالجنة والنجاة من النار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والفاتحة. Thank you very much for joining us today. Inshallah, next week, same place, same time. Remember each other in dua. And when we teach or when we tell, when we advise something to somebody, our manners must be respectful. We should not look down at people. And then when we give something to somebody, don't make sure nobody else knows but Allah. You know. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.